Okay, this one's mine. Discharge and admit within hours. This is a very unusual case. I never heard of something like this. I have a patient that was being discharged from the hospital from one physician, and within a couple of hours she was admitted by a different physician. Can we use the admit and discharge code? If you cannot bill this code, could you give a reason why we could not? Thank you, Debbie. And now I just realized I think I read the question wrong. I thought she was saying that they were admitted and discharged the same day, and then they came back the same day. Now I'm realizing this is kind of like backwards. It's like a discharge and then an admit. All right, so let's go with my original understanding, since that's how I answered it, that I thought we had two events, an admit and discharge earlier in the day, and then another admit later in the day. So the general rule of thumb with EM codes is you get one per customer. So one E&M code per physician, per patient, per day. There are some exceptions, but that's the general rule. So they have this thing called the carryover concept. So let's say the physician, the patient was in observation, and the observation is basically to decide, are they going to be admitted or not? So let's say they get admitted on the same day. They've been in observation for a couple of hours, and then they get admitted to the hospital. They can only bill one E&M code. So is it going to be the observation code or the initial hospital code? And the answer is the last place they were seen. So it's the initial hospital, and that's why it's called carry over. You don't lose the work that you did in the first setting. You carry over any history that you did, any exam that you did, any medical decision-making that you did, and you just carry it over to the new setting and combine it with any work that you did there. So if you have a patient who's admitted to observation or inpatient and they're discharged the very same day, they have these unique codes that are called admit and discharge codes, keeping to the rule of one E&M code per day. So even though you have two different events, you only get one code. So in this case, I was reading it that you had two different physicians, so you should be able to have two E&M billed on the same day because they're two different physicians, but the payers might view it as one E&M per practice versus per physician per day. So you need to check that out with the payer. If that's the case, you're only going to be able to bill the one admit and discharge code. So let's look at the codes here. I just did a couple grabs from my scanned-in page here. So these are the three levels of code: 99234, 235, and 236. And this is something I have my students do, have them write A and D same day, A and D same day. So when they turn to these codes, it jumps right out at them that that's what these are. And basically it says including admission and discharge on the same date. So if that's your patient situation, these are the three codes you should choose from. And then the little notes here in the margin is just a technique that we use to teach E&M. But a 236, as you can see, is a comprehensive history, comprehensive exam, and high complexity medical decision making. If you had to carry over work from a previous session and you're only billing the one code, you could carry it over. So maybe they only did they did a comprehensive history, but they did low medical decision making. But after you combine everything from the two sites, they might have done a high complexity medical decision making. So maybe it bumped us up to a 236 or a 235. Okay? So you can carry over the documentation work, if you will, to get the higher level that they deserve. So off the cuff, reading this question again, if it's, I have a patient that was being discharged from the hospital from one physician, and within a couple hours was admitted by a different physician. See, I'd need a little more information. Is this the same practice? So it's the same 1500 form that you're billing? I don't think that's the intent of the A and D codes. It's supposed to be admission, then discharge, not discharge, then admission. So I think this would definitely be payer specific. And you might be fine since it's different physicians. Just for physician A, bill your discharge. For physician B, bill your admit. So hopefully that helps.
Get more CPC exam tips, coding certification training, and CEU credits. Go to www.codingcertification.org.